talk about politics right now, and I would like to take your assessment again on the recently ended primaries that you held. What's your assessment generally?
Well, we haven't finished yet. We have about 77 constituencies to deal with at this stage. But so far, our assessment is that it's gone on pretty well, pretty smoothly. It is not possible to have an exercise, a nationwide exercise, without hitches here and there. But when you compare what has happened this year to what happened in previous years, I think we've made a lot of progress.
Would you point to a specific part of which was a huge success for you, and a specific part of which you have learned a lot because it didn't really go well? What were your highs and your lows?
First of all, there were few cases, and I would say very few cases, where people were not dissatisfied. People were not satisfied with some of the processes. I mean, there were complaints about picking of forms, and then some other things, and then vetting and the outcome of vetting and so on. But if we are talking about aggregates, you see that we had only about 17 cases that were reported to us. Up to the time we had done the vetting and were proceeding for the D-Day, we had only about 17. In previous years, we could have them in dozens.
I'd like to draw your attention to what you're seeing right now on the television. This is one of the scenes from Tema, I think Tema East. Yeah. Tema East, this is what went on there. At the end, that gentleman in the white there was seen bleeding, and he had to be carried to the hospital. Yeah. This has come to your attention?
It hasn't come to my attention. I was in the my observation took me to Western region and so on. So in actual fact, after the elections, yesterday was the day I landed in Accra.
Oh, wow.
But I was taking the reports from the various areas. So incidents like this, though unfortunate, could happen, particularly when the process is about to start, the voting is about to start, and the counting and declaration also in some places will generate some amount of heat. But the good thing is that all of them were resolved, and we had results from all those places.
Okay. There's a political season we're in. Next year, you're going to Ghana is going to go to the polls. This year, lots of people, and I think your flag bearer has already started campaigning. He's all over the place. But one key thing that came up during your primaries is vote buying, concerns about vote buying. We've heard Ras Mubarak make the point. We heard Victoria Hammer make the point. We were told after the primaries that you were investigating.
No.
You are not investigating?
Nobody has presented any such case to my attention. In fact, if there are letters to that effect, then maybe I haven't seen them. And as I told you, I only landed in Accra after the elections because I joined the flag bearer on the rounds. So I landed in Accra yesterday. But my checks haven't revealed anybody sending any petition along those lines to be investigated. But let me tell you, for those of you who are not in politics, when you lose elections, it's a very difficult moment. So if you have a loved one who goes through elections, immediately after declaration, it will be a good thing to, as much as possible, prevent him from talking, because they say things which they later live to regret.
Are you reducing the concerns raised by someone like Ras Mubarak?
I haven't answered your question yet. Let me make progress. Okay. We'll come there.
Okay.
So generally, if anybody loses elections, it is important that the loved ones get around that person, prevent him from talking, because there are cases where they say things and they later live to regret those things, and they would maybe that could be the reason why none of them has submitted any petition for us to investigate concerning vote buying and other things. I don't have any such petition yet. So it tells you that it is one thing reacting spontaneously to something, and then later on sitting down to say that, well, what I have said, do I have evidence to be able to present it for investigation? If the answer is no, they wouldn't dare bring that thing. But you see, when you look at this past election, there weren't many surprises at all. There are people who everybody knew they were going to lose. Like who? And yet they went in to lose. And so I wouldn't say that of those people were expected to lose. I'm sure Rax Mubarak, if he would be candid, he himself declared that because we have departed from the one man, one vote, and we are now going to use executives as delegates, it will affect his chances. He declared it here even before going down there. So I'm surprised that he'll be talking about vote buying. I only heard him say that after the election. No, he said he indicated it even before going there. So his point was that one of the problems is the return or the return of the NDC to the delegate system. And I'm saying that he anticipated that it could be problematic to him even before he went into the election. Because even when it went into, when you say it will be a problem for me, what does it mean? It means that you have a chance of losing and you have a chance of winning. That is what it means. And he will tell you that even at vetting, he had problems with constituency executives. When he came for vetting? Yes. What sort of problems did he have? No, it is open secret that he wasn't gelling with his executives. And these delegates are essentially executives. They are constituency executives and branch executives who met to take that decision. So if you have problem with the executives, your chances of losing the election will be high. So you think that's what happened to Ras Mubarak? That is a contributory factor. That's clearly a contributory factor. But he still makes allegations that need to be looked into, don't you think? I'm saying that he has not brought any allegation. I'm talking of the CAF after election declaration. Okay. So cannot be the basis for any investigation. If anybody wants any matter to be investigated, they are members of the party and they know how to process those requests for the investigation to be conducted. So it is easy to find a scapegoat in something when you want to dodge, you want to face the results of your own actions. So whilst I wouldn't write what they are claiming of, I think that as I sit here, I don't have any basis to trigger any investigation into any vote buying. And I've been called, as at the time he was talking, I was told that he said he has reported to the BNI and so on. Well, if that is what he has chosen to do, let's await the outcome of what he has reported. Certainly he will be called to provide evidence, and then the others who is alleging have misconducted themselves will also be called. So and then as we speak, the NDC is not investigating any of these matters. No, because there is no report for us to investigate. But what we were told afterwards that, I mean, you had your... when you say we were told, who? That's what I was coming to. I had one of the executives sit here and said, even though these have not come to our notice officially, to attention officially, as you have said it, we will look into it. Sami Jenfi actually said it also on news file. So your executives have been saying it. Maybe Sami will report it to me so that we can trigger the action. But as of now, no investigation. Now, I don't have anything. It looks like we're getting contrary reports. No, we are not getting contrary reports. There are people who went for the monitoring in different places. And they could be talking even as they were doing their monitoring. And since all of us have not met, I wouldn't know what submission will be made by who for what to be investigated. So why would they go ahead and tell the whole public, the whole Ghanaian public, that they're investigating when the party has not even sat on the matter were they investigating during the elections? The elections have just ended. Well, that's what your executives are telling. And I'm saying that how can the investigations be taking place side by side with the election? No, this was after the election. They said it's after the election. I don't have any request for any investigation at this stage. Even executive member has had that request, it hasn't reached my office to trigger any such investigation. And I'll promise that as soon as I get any such request, I will trigger the investigative process and we will get to the bottom of the issues. And again, you see, those who lost, constituencies punish people who relocate from one constituency to another constituency to seek election. The trend I have observed has shown that many people who have left one constituency to the other have not fared well in these elections. Okay. When you take Vicky Hammer, she contested first here in Accra before relocating to Kintampo. She did her first primaries, she lost, she went again, and she lost again. You understand? When you take Ras Mubarak, he relocated, he contested his first primaries in Accra here, then he relocated to Tamale, a northern region, Kumbungu. He won the first, primaries and came to parliament. And then he lost this one again. When you take, there are many of such cases across that people who relocate, either they are not able to, even if they win the first primaries, they are not able to integrate well. Okay. And then it goes against them.
Do you like, well, before I ask even this question, which I'm sure will make you laugh, we also heard about alleged infiltration of the NPP within the NDC camps. No,
it's not possible.
How is it not possible?
Because our delegates are not selected on the voting day. We begin selecting our delegates from the time we conduct branch elections. So if you take our constitution, you will see that the branch executives constitute the bulk of the electoral college. And then you add constituency executives, and you add former DCs, former MPs, and those are special voters. So these are the people who constitute. So I'm wondering whether the MPP will present people to come and vote.
No, Chairman to me says they put in money, they influence the delegates with money, they make sure that the delegates did the choice, they chose the people for you. He mentioned specifically Ras Mubarak and talks about how they had a strategy to make sure that he lost.
I think that these are, you see, when you are talking about politics, you talk about levels. The level at which Wontumi operates, that's not the level I operate. So I don't.
What do you say levels? I'm struggling to understand.
The level where he does his communication, the type of things he considers to be things that he should be talking about. Those are not things I talk about.
They're not your level. He's not at your level, you say.
We are operating at different levels. I'm not implying his must be higher than mine, could be higher than him, but we are operating at different levels. So I don't engage the press based on what Wontumi has said or what he has not said. But I'm saying that it is not possible for Wontumi or any other person to infiltrate our ranks, because if you say so, it will mean that our people are so daft that they don't know what they are doing, they don't know what they are about in selecting a candidate.
So you think he was just saying what he said?
He was just blowing his mouth.
You think so? Is the party minded to investigate this and even report to the police?
No.
If he did influence people, that would be wrong.
He has no capacity to influence anything in our party. So
you just rubbish it?
Yeah, I don't think it is anything that we
see. Well, you've had Johnson Asiedu Nketia there. He says Mr. Wontumi operates at a different level. They're not at the same level, he says. But some of you are sending in some of your questions. I wanted to ask you, do you watch John Dumelo's movies?
No.
You don't?
I don't have time to watch movies at all.
No. Why not? Why not? A lot of people have said there's a lot of, life is very hard. So sometimes when you get a movie, it takes off the stress. You're not a movie person.
If you know my schedule, you sympathize with me. There's no time for movies at all.
Okay.
The only little time I may have for a movie would be when I'm on a long trip and maybe watching something in the car. Apart from that, every minute of mine is occupied, and then the only available time will be the time which I will be sleeping.
You'll be sleeping.
I don't think.
So when you're driving, when you're traveling, and you get to watch something, it won't be. Will your choice be John Dumelo? It's movies.
No, I'm not a movie person. I'm not a movie person. But now he's in your fold. I like listening to reggae and.
Wait! I wish this was a radio.
Words of wisdom from reggae. So when I'm on my.
I wish this was a radio show. I would have played you Lucky Dube. I love Lucky Dube. I'm not sure if you like Lucky Dube as well.